Welcome back to the Zach Djellab YouTube channel. Of course, this is nothing but football if you're listening on other platforms. The lights are too bright. It's a sunny, sunny day. We've got talent with us, and that's why Henry's had to put on his sunglasses. Yeah. Are they his? It's a good question. Joe Thomlinson joins us, becoming a little bit irregular at the moment. Questions. Every week is me and him on something. Could be Saturday Social, could be this. Goodness gracious. Henry, you going to wear them the entire day?
No, take them off.
No, the problem is, last time I was on this, I slagged off the fact that you replaced me with Joe Tomlinson, and I find myself in the awkward position of having sat next to Joe
slagging
Tomlinson.
me off again?
Yeah, I called you a corporate slug.
He did call you a corporate slug.
Yeah, we're the little guys out here just making content. Yeah. The old bigwig comes down from the town, just help out the peasants, doesn't he? So anyway, it's good to see you, Joe. It's good to be next to you.
Thanks, mate. It's good to be here.
Well, indeed. As you can see by the title of the video, we're going to be talking about transfers. It is international break, so I thought rather than talking about England and a squad that might not be the World Cup squad, let's talk about some of the players that joined the league this summer and seeing how they're doing at their club so far. We're going to do this just from alphabetical order. I'm going to go through every single one, and we're essentially going to say...
How many Sanchez was it this summer?
We're going to say if they have been a hit or not a hit. It's as simple as that. And we're going to do it basically for how they've been so far. Of course, all these players could get better, could get worse as the season goes on or as they go into the years of their contract. However, we're going to be doing this basically as what we've seen so far. Just 10 games into the season?
10?
So
in all comps, I suppose.
I guess, yeah, in all comps. So, yeah, of course, a small sample size, and they're just our initial reactions so far. I'm sure we'll say many times, they could get better. They could get better. Let's kick it off then with Arsenal Football Club. The North London club made a lot of signings in the summer. The most expensive of which was Martin Zubimendi, Henry.
I said I wasn't sure if he was going to move the needle that much. He's been brilliant. He's been really good. So,
first Henry L of the day.
Yeah,
Do you want to come up, get the count again?
No. I just said it was a slight unknown in the sense that coming from Sociedad, obviously a big fee attached to him. Was he really the midfielder that they wanted? And actually, it turns out yes. So I think in many ways, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I'm very pleased with Zubimendi, and I think Arsenal in general looking quite scary.
Yeah, I mean, he's played in 7 Premier League games so far. He scored 2 goals as well. One of them was an absolute peach as well. It's kind of allowed Declan Rice to be a little bit more free, hasn't it, Joe?
I suppose so, but I think he was playing a very similar role last year with Thomas Partey alongside him. I think it's almost like they've replaced Partey with Zubimendi and upgraded in that area. On the ball dominance is definitely better with Zubimendi in the side. I think he works really hard off it. Yeah, I think this has been a sensational signing so far.
I do have to agree. Been really, really good. And look, it was someone that was meant to be joining the league about a year ago for Liverpool. It didn't quite happen in the end. But he's done very well so far. A hit, that is for sure. Yeah. Let's talk about one of the other ones. The one that happened later on in the window was meant to be going to Tottenham Hotspur at one point. Ended up putting on North London Red, Eberici Eze.
Hit.
Yeah, he's really good.
Chalk all these Arsenal ones up to hit, man. I remember sitting on this show just when the window was closing, maybe it had just closed, and saying Arsenal had the best window of any team, despite the fact Liverpool had signed, Wirtz and
they hadn't signed Isak at that point, but it was they were on the verge.
On the verge, because they've just covered all their bases. It's the best squad in the league. I think they're clear title favourites as we sit here today. And Eze being able to fill in for Ødegaard, who's obviously picked up this MCL injury, is like the perfect replacement. Some might even call it an upgrade, but I think they've worked quite well when they've played together. I kind of like Ødegaard playing a little bit deeper when he's come on, threading balls through the line, playing on that left-hand half space. I think the passing angles are even a little bit more open for him. So I think Eze's been a nailed-on hit. 2 huge moments already this season. The ball for Martinelli, even to claw a point back from that game, I think that was a huge moment in the season.
Yeah, I agree. Even Madueke, if you look at some of the initial negative feeling towards that transfer, he's been frighteningly good. And he's not in the current England squad, but he was in the previous one.
Well, he's out injured at the moment.
Yeah, injured. Scored away at Serbia. I think Madueke, for 52 million, suddenly looks like a really smart piece of business. Gyökeres.
Are we saying Gyökeres right now has been a hit?
Yes. I think some of the narratives around Gyökeres have actually been unfair at the start of the season. I think he's improving quickly. The last game, I can't remember who Arsenal played most recently at the weekend, but I thought his hold-up play was way improved. I think Arsenal have definitely improved their sort of ability of getting him the ball quicker.
They played West Ham.
they've figured out that he wants the ball earlier in behind. And I think they've started to do that more regularly, more often, and that's going to suit his game. I know that he hasn't hit the ground running in terms of his goal scoring, and I think he'll be a little bit disappointed with his output. But I don't think, 3 goals so far this season, it's not that horrendous. It's not that horrendous for a player who's just started in the league, especially when the fee was, 55 million, something like that. I don't think it was nearly as much as everybody thought it was going to be in the end.
I also feel as if he hasn't had to... It's not as if all the weight's been on his shoulders for scoring goals for Arsenal. If it was literally everything was going through him, then I'd say, maybe he could have done some more. But the fact is, as Joe's pointed out, the squad is so rounded at the moment. You've even got Timber and Calafiori getting in on the score sheet as well. So 3 goals. He's on the score sheet. He's got up and running, which I think is so important for a new player, as we'll get on some other high-profile subjects later. I think he's fine. I think everyone likes to pile in on Gyökeres when he has a quiet game, but you have to respect the good games that he has. I
don't think he's ever going to be a sort of aesthetic Bobby Firmino style link-up player,
and they've got other players
really
for that.
Good to watch. I think he is a little bit clunky as a footballer, but I almost think that works for Arsenal. I think it's quite nice having a different style of forward to a Kai Havertz or to a player like Bukayo Saka, who's very good on the ball, wants to link up the play. He's much more of a bulldozer. I don't think that's bad to have a plan B. When Havertz is back fit, I think it's a totally legitimate option for them to share minutes. At the end of the day, Kai Havertz cost about the same as Victor Gyökeres. So I don't think it's out of this world to suggest that Kai Havertz, for a large portion of this season, might end up being the number 9.
I'm just a little bit more...
You don't like him?
I don't like him. I'm just a little bit more critical, I think. The whole thing of adding him to it was goals. Right? If they wanted someone that was really good off the ball or even kind of on the ball, they've got those players already. Like Gabby Jesus did that a lot for Arsenal. Kai Havertz does that a lot for Arsenal, especially off the ball as well. The whole point in adding Victor Gyökeres was this is the guy who's going to score basically. Obviously, it's not a goal a game. That is a crazy rate, but a lot of goals. And it is when you're in a league and you're getting the other league's top striker is Erling Haaland. It's always going to be very, very tough to be in the same comparison.
He's got 3 and 7. Hasn't
he has, but he got 2 of them against Leeds United, who had just got promoted. And again, we gave Leeds a lot of credit last episode, but they are a side that are arguably lower towards the table. And he got the other one against Nottingham Forest, who during the start of the season have looked like a side that could be in that relegation battle. They obviously won't be. I'm going to put that out there. The other games where I've seen him play against Manchester City, didn't think he was that great. Against Liverpool, didn't think he was that great. And those are the games where if you are bringing this guy who's meant to be one of the Europe's top goal scorers, I want to see you performing in those games. It is very harsh criticism. I do agree. I completely understand if someone's going to say, Zach, you're being super, super harsh there. But that's what Arsenal needed to take them to this next level, to get them all the way over the finish line. I still think Arsenal, by far, out of every single Premier League team, are the team that are looking most likely to go on some sort of league title charge. But Gyökeres, for what I was expecting, and what we heard all about 50 goals in a season at Sporting, obviously very, very different league.
Never have expected that.
100%. I'm not saying, but at the moment, does he go over 20?
In all comps, yeah, I think so. I think he can get at least. I think he can at least get close to that. And even if he doesn't get close to that, I think, let's say he gets to 16, 17 and Kai Havertz gets to 13, 14. At 16, 17, they didn't have from a number 9 last season, isn't it?
Yeah, and I also think if he gets 20 this year for his first season in the Premier League after playing the Portuguese league for a few years,
the future could be bright.
That's fine. I
think
we
could be bright.
Very hung
he's
up
also
on...
not on pens, is he? Saka at
he's
the
not on
weekend
pens.
took
No, he's not on pens.
So I think that is a large determining factor in his goal output.
His expected goals are 3.9, so he's slightly off it. But I can't sit here and think of glaring misses that Gyökeres has. It's not as if he's looked a bit feeble in front of goal when he's got the ball. He hasn't had a whole ton of service, partly self-induced by in some of the bigger games where I do agree that he's gone missing for bits. But I just think we're being really harsh on someone who's...
It is harsh.
He's got 3 goals in the league.
I don't disagree
that
that it's harsh, but I don't agree that it is harsh.
Playing brilliantly.
But look, if you guys want to say hit, that's fine with me. I'd say not for now.
The only misses, and I don't even think they're misses, are maybe Norgard and Hincapié, but that's just because they just don't really play that much.
And they
don't need to.
Like Norgard was the most squad player possible, like absolutely fine. And Hincapié, I think, it is just like coming into the team, isn't it?
The other problem for Hincapié is that Mosquera has been an undoubted smash hit super signing.
I mean, that could be one of the signings of the summer, really. He's been incredible every time he's been on the pitch.
He's a monster. Their back 4 options are frightening at the moment. And yeah, Norgard, I still think as a bench option is still pretty stunning. So
absolutely fine. We're not going to cover Kepa just because obviously he is the sub goalkeeper, isn't he? So yeah, a lot of Arsenal's transfer business there going down as hits. Over to Aston Villa then in Birmingham. Didn't obviously have a lot of transfers happen for them. They brought in Harvey Elliott from Liverpool, Jadon Sancho from Manchester United.
Hasn't played.
Hasn't really played, is he?
Victor Lindelof from Manchester United. Marco Bizot, who at one point in the season was Unai Emery's best friend.
He's been hit so far.
Evan Goussand.
He's played more regularly than the other guys.
He
we
has played
really
more regularly at the moment.
Sancho be given opportunities yet.
My Villa friend told me that in moments he's really shown quality, but he's yet to really. I think if we're going to be hypercritical, well,
there were bigger issues with
Villa
Villa
Gyökeres, then you could be slightly hypercritical and guess honestly he hasn't really produced the numbers to back up what is meant to be an attacking role. But I
think there have been bigger issues at Villa, as we've seen throughout this season, where I think then putting it onto some of the new signings is maybe a little bit too harsh. Because someone obviously did come in, but he was this young striker coming from Ligue 1, and he wasn't necessarily the guy that was or forward. He wasn't necessarily the guy that was going to come in and replace Ollie Watkins. I know we have seen him feature out on the right, and I think it has looked better at moments. But again, I've seen some Villa fans be quite critical of him. I think it would be fair to say, as of right now, not a hit, but could definitely in future.
The thing about that window is take out Elliott and Sancho. It's just pretty.
Oh, it's bleak.
It's like, well, what are you expecting from them?
but they kept more PSR.
They were up against it, and they did keep Morgan Rogers. They kept Ollie Watkins. They kept Martinez as well.
And they kept Emery.
And they kept Unai Emery, which is definitely a very, very good thing. So Harvey Elliott, too soon to really give him a thing. I know he's featured what? I think he's got. Has he even got 200 minutes yet?
We'd like to see Harvey Elliott get a little bit more game time. Honestly,
he's played 97 minutes in the Premier League for them at the moment.
He's such a good player, Harvey Elliott. I want to see him get more game time, and I really want to see Emery figure out a system that can see Rodgers and Harvey Elliott dovetail into number 10 roles. I don't know how that fits, but if he can get that to work, he has got two superstars.
He's suffered. I think they've suffered as well without Tielemans massively. I think that's been a real big hit.
He had an injury setback this week as well. He's out for another 6 weeks,
which is really not great for Villa. But yeah, I think from the ones that we can really talk about and who've actually featured, Goussand at the moment not so far of a hit. But I do say Bizot, when he has featured, was absolutely fine. So we can put it down as a hit for a transfer that was less than £1 million. That's definitely not too bad. Okay, from Villa over to AFC Bournemouth. I mean, number one hit, they kept Iriola. That's a massive hit. Obviously, one of the best managers in the league. He's doing an incredible job. Diakite was their most expensive signing in the summer.
Smash it.
Yeah.
Do you know what's interesting about that is they originally didn't want to pay the fee, and then they were like, actually, we can sign someone if we just slightly pay over the odds here. So they went in and just paid what Lille asked for him, and it's been worth every single penny so far, because you almost haven't noticed the drop-off with Howson and Zabani, who it's starting PSG at the moment. Is getting in that PSG. So yeah, I mean, that's a big hole to fill, and I think Diakite's been brilliant. You wouldn't even notice it against Senesi. Alongside Senesi, I should say, who is a brilliant centre half.
He's been fantastic. Absolutely, I completely agree. Diakite has been an incredible signing for them so far. Be interesting to see whether he's still at Bournemouth this time next season. In goal, they swapped a Chelsea goalkeeper for a Chelsea goalkeeper, Kepa when in came Petrovic.
I mean, Bournemouth have been so good at the start of the season, you can't label any of these players amiss, I don't believe. Even the likes of Truffert, who's coming in that left-back role.
I mean, he
has effectively, it feels like they've almost improved in a lot of areas on that left-hand side. His links with Semenyo look excellent. I think the back four looks extremely solid. And I think it's just testament to the system, really, isn't it? It's almost like a plug and play. Whoever plays in this system is going to look good under Iriola.
What did I say about Truffert, Zach? What did I say?
You did. Henry's always been a fan. There's always one Bournemouth player Henry gives a shout out to, and he ends up being.
Howson was my shout of the year last year. Truffet's my shout of the year this year. I'm telling you now.
He's fantastic, man.
No,
he got 5 caps for France.
Yeah, he was a captain of Rennes, and he's capped for France. Like, it was a no-brainer for 14
when you look at the fee they got him from Rennes as well, like it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Yeah. So hit for Truffert. Amin Adli from Leverkusen. I don't know if we've seen
this is the thing.
Lots from
the thing about
so
Adli.
Far.
The thing about these guys is even Doak is the rest of the squad has been so effective this year. Like Alex Scott, Brooks have all improved. There's not really been an opportunity for these guys to step in. With Semenyo playing the way he is, I think it's just a case that Iriola's looked at it and gone, there's no need to change up the system here too much. So these guys are just getting time to bed into the squad. The main holes that they had to fill, left back, in goal, and at centre half, those guys are coming in and been a huge
But we've
hit.
seen Milo Savljevic has played. He started 17, I think maybe 17, 18 years old.
Yeah,
like
centre back.
3 weeks ago. He started willing to throw these young players into games. Looks absolutely like he's going to be a star of the future. At 18 years old, to be playing central defensive football in the Premier League in a system that's as complex as this. I mean, that's another.
But it's what you mentioned, I think, again on a couple of episodes ago on the podcast, Joe, where you said just like Iriola's system allows these guys to come in so seamlessly and slot in, almost like plug and play players, aren't they, for them? So yeah, I think basically every single one of them is a hit. If they aren't, it's because they've not really featured enough yet to give them probably a fair assessment. I really hope as well Ben Doak works out at Bournemouth. He is a super exciting
first assist on the board at the weekend.
Winger. So yeah, we'll see how it goes for him. Brentford then, obviously they did do some moves in the window. Let's talk about first Jordan Henderson, because I think I was a little bit critical of that when that happened in the summer, and he's been a massive hit.
Yeah.
Been a huge hit in midfield for them.
Do you know what? I think off the pitch was where everybody was talking about Jordan Henderson potentially being a hit for Brentford, the replacement for Christian Norgard's leadership, what he can add to the dressing room. But on the pitch, he's been superb. He's actually legitimately pushing for a midfield role with England at this World Cup squad because of some of his on-the-pitch performances. His long passing has been sensational. His off-the-ball work has been brilliant. I don't think Brentford have been as good as they were last year, and everybody expected them to take that step back. But in terms of a like-for-like replacement for Christian Norgard, I think they found that in Jordan Henderson, and given that he didn't cost any money, I think it's a definite.
No, he's great. He's a proper footballer.
No, he really is. He really is. I mean, some of the balls he's put through as well, like the assist against Chelsea,
against United,
outrageous. The assist against United, outrageous. And yeah, he's done a very good job in that midfield. I mean, he's worked that kind of team generally. I've done much better than I think anybody kind of expected them.
That experience of joining an Ajax team at a point when they were really struggling and having to kind of. He was their big name in midfield for a long time at a time, and that's a really hostile crowd there. The Ajax fans when they were not in a good way over the past 2 seasons. That experience will serve him really well for playing in a Brentford team where it's going to be up against it this year.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Kelleher's been good as well.
Yeah, he's been a little bit shakier than I thought he'd be.
Him,
yeah, he's been a little bit shakier than I thought he'd be. What was it? He made a mistake. What was it recently? I'm escaping my mind of all the games that have been played. But he did make a mistake in one of the games, which I saw that same criticism come from. I mean, Flecken was very good last year, having come from a season before where he was very poor. I think Kelleher, what we know obviously from him at Liverpool, was always this fantastic goalkeeper, almost always said for years that like he was too good to be a bench player, and now I kind of thought, to be honest, he'd get a better move than Brentford. I thought he'd kind of be playing further up in the league. It's fine, absolutely fine, but I thought he'd been playing in a European team, to be honest.
I would have been surprised to see him go from Liverpool's number 2 to a European team.
Fair.
Personally, I think he wanted a team that was going to be a guarantee of minutes. So with Flecken leaving, then that is a good opportunity for him. That's live in London, come down here, get paid well. Brentford, a pretty consistent Premier League side. And I know he may have made a couple of mistakes, but I think he's also made a couple of fantastic saves.
Made a fantastic save against Chelsea on a like reactionary jump across the goal.
Yeah, and
brilliant.
I think for 18 or so million
pounds,
it's
great.
Absolutely fine. I think it's a hit.
That penalty save just to secure a valuable 3 points against United, that kind of overrides everything.
That is very good point. Yeah, very good. Yeah, definitely a hit for Kelleher. Coyote joined really last January, but well, sure, we'll count it. It is an absolute massive hit. A couple of the others really just haven't featured enough, I think, to mention them. But the big one, the one who cost them a lot, or the most expensive for them in the summer, Dango Ouattara.
Been all right.
I don't know. He started the season really well. I think he's been a hit.
Yeah, he's battling it out, isn't he, for a role with an informed Igor Thiago at the moment. Thiago scored 4 Premier League goals. I think that is a big bonus for them. I don't think necessarily they're expecting Thiago to have an impact to that level this early in the season. So Ouattara's kind of got to bide his time and get his way into that side. It's not a guarantee immediately just because of the fee that he finds a role in the side. So once he's found that, I think he will be a hit.
Yeah, I mean, when he has come on, he's already scored a couple of goals with them. He has looked good. I would say hit, but I do understand, especially considering he was their most expensive signing.
You're not sure,
why there might be criticism.
No, it's right. It's just a lot of money. I think it was a
lot of money for someone who wasn't necessarily always featuring for Bournemouth either.
Is it a lot of money in today's market though?
I think Henry wasn't say there.
I think when you're at Brentford's level, because it's sort of different. Arsenal do have the bandwidth.
Yeah, but they sold 110 million worth of forward in the summer.
How much is it saying on the Premier League website they've got him down there for?
42 million. That's a lot.
No, you know what? Yeah, he's good. And like if him and Thiago, that's a pretty good strike partnership if they can get them.
If that keeps them up,
fit
what
this
money
year.
is worth it, isn't it? If he chips in with 10 goals this season, which I absolutely think he can, then it might well keep them in the league alongside Thiago.
No, fair enough. Okay, then over to Brighton Hove Albion, who we're trying. We got a lot to get through.
Oh, such a weird transfer.
It is. We mentioned it a few times about Brighton's summer window, and that they kind of focus a little bit more on maybe the defence than they have in previous years.
But this is what Brighton do, man.
Yeah,
This is a window for a season ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
They sign
Yeah,
players
yeah.
the summer before for the season, like for 2 seasons ahead,
Yeah,
effectively.
yeah.
A lot of these players, specifically the Greek forwards, Simas and Kostoulas, might not have an impact this season. It'll be next season where they start to come into the fold when Danny Welbeck is probably no longer at the club. I think you can see the same thing this season with players like Gruda, who was signed the summer before, who's now having a major impact in the team. I think the Cowper looked great.
He's
big
he's probably the one
impacts.
that's played the most, right?
Yeah,
Like,
has had big impacts. I mean, the goal against Chelsea, a massive moment for him in his Brighton career this early. So I think even players like Tom Watson, next
Hasn't
season
really
is where
featured,
you're
yeah.
going to see these players have major impacts in the side. The same way players like Gruda took 1 year to bed in, and now you're seeing them regularly have impacts in the team. So for me, Brighton's transfer strategy is different to anybody else in the league because they're forward planning so much. They're trying to think 18 months ahead.
No, you're completely spot on, because really out of the only players we can probably mention is Decipher, who I think has started
Cowper, yeah,
well.
he's been good.
He has been good. Skagli has played a couple of minutes, but not nothing incredible.
But you're asking
and the rest of them
to break up a partnership of Dunk, who is the club captain,
and Cupola,
club legend,
Cupola as well.
and Van Heck, who is their best centre-back, player of the season, has never put a foot wrong for the club effectively.
Yeah,
so
starts in the Netherlands.
It's
sometimes.
incredibly difficult to break that partnership up. But next summer, Dunk's a year older. Is he playing the same amount? That's where Buscaglia is probably going to come in and have a major impact. I just think it's hard to judge Brighton because their transfer strategy is different to anybody else in the league.
I think you're spot on there. I think that's an absolute great way to sum that up. The one player that we didn't mention, obviously the left back, hit
The
so
Cowper's
far.
definitely been ahead.
And they to be fair, they obviously sold a Stupinan, didn't they? So they needed to bring somebody in. Over to Burnley then, who obviously ended up having quite a busy window during it.
He has been a hit. Jaden Anthony.
Jaden Anthony.
Yeah,
Jaden
he's-
Anthony coming in from Bournemouth.
4 goals, 1 assist.
It's not too bad. I think it's an
Thanks
easy
coming.
hit. Paid less than 10 million quid for him as well. Yeah, made that permanent. Stepped up really, really well. I mean, been one of their best kind of attacking players. I thought you actually did very, very well against Manchester United. That's
He's
always
a
the game
problem
that comes to
in
me.
team side. I do think Burnley have struggled a little bit at the start of the season, as was to be expected. But again, you've got to contextualise a lot of these signings. Like Hartman, who I think has started the season really well, is still part of a team that's conceded quite a lot of goals and hasn't won many games. But his impact on the team has been very positive. The same way Kyle Walker, I think, has actually had a positive impact on the side, but results aren't really going that way. They're still conceding a lot of goals. So you can't just say, oh, well, Burnley's still losing those games, conceding loads of goals. The impacts of the signings aren't there. It's hard to measure when you were kind of expecting Burnley to lose a lot of these games early doors in the season anyway.
Spot on.
I
Absolutely
think Dubravka's been pretty good.
I think Dubravka's been brilliant.
So good.
Brilliant.
He's been a good signing.
Absolutely
Broja, haven't really seen him. Florentino Luis, I'm expecting a little bit more from him at some point. Like the amount of we hyped him up the past few years. Chona's been like the most reassuring for me because he didn't actually play tons of minutes when he was at Lazio. He's been passed around a few clubs at this point. Huge potential, just hasn't really had the minutes. And actually, I think in spurts for Burnley, he's looked quite exciting. And this thing, they're not a 90-minute side really, Burnley, with the attacking options. They've got to like be clinical in the sort of short moments where they do get the opportunities to attack. So and on that regard, like I do think a lot of these guys have been pretty good.
Chukwu as well, when he's played, I think midfield's been really solid for them. Obviously, he was playing for Southampton last season on loan. Broja's still the one where I kind of thought I'm just scratching my head a little bit around that move. Like,
is he injured at the moment?
No, he's featured for them. Like, he has featured for them. I mean, if he is injured, that's kind of partially a big issue as well, knowing what his injury record was like. And he was second most expensive signing. I mean, he's played 42 minutes in the Premier League, obviously all substitute appearances. Come on, or played in the Carabao Cup as well and got an assist so far for them in the 2 games. But that was the second most expensive signing for them, and obviously a forward that in the last few years has really struggled with injuries. I think that is
Broja.
maybe what. Yeah, Broja. I think that is maybe one where.
Yeah, but when they made that signing, I think a lot of people thought,
no, you're right. Yeah, everyone kind of questioned it a little bit.
Quite a big fee for
definitely.
Something's going on.
Zian Fleming, obviously they brought in from Millwall as well. I think when he's featured, been not too bad, but again, like didn't pay an astronomical fee for him because they did make some really like smart moves. For
Burnley,
not super.
Burnley they've got a few wins under their belt. I don't think anyone. If you're a Burnley fan, I think you're honestly looking at the table thinking it's all right. Do you know, right now, they're in the relegation zone.
And they've kind of been a little bit unlucky as well. They're unlucky to lose against Liverpool. I still think they were unlucky to lose against Manchester United. Like they probably should have at least got a point from both games.
Been 3-4
In the first half. In the first half, yes, definitely. But second half, like they managed to. They saw through the first one. Second half came out with a little bit unfortunate, in my opinion. But yeah, I think I kind of agree. The ones that we've mentioned so far probably have been hits with maybe more questions around Broja. I mean, Bashir Humphries technically did join them last year, but made it permanent this summer. He hasn't really featured too often in the Premier League so far. So yeah, that's where we are with Burnley. What's happened with Marcus Edwards, by the way? Somebody who for years, I think, like was kind of spoken about, obviously did really, really well with that Sporting squad, went on loan to them last season, and then just hasn't really pushed on in the Premier League. He's not getting into the squad as well.
Primera Liga merchant, mate.
Yeah, is that it? I mean, there was chats about like how does Spurs let him go? Like, look at him in Europe for Amorim, and just hasn't quite worked out so far. But who knows? Maybe in the future it will. But that is our take on Burnley. Over to the boys in blue in West London. Then Chelsea Football Club. Let's start from the bottom and make our way up.
Now it gets fun.
Buonanotte.
Not seen enough of him.
Loan move.
I actually think he's played way more than I thought he was going to play.
Playing the Champions League?
Honestly, think he's a hit because I was not expecting him to be starting certain games or get any minutes at all. I just thought this is like a really weird numbers transfer just to make sure they were secure everywhere. Buonanotte's actually played way more than I was expecting him to. I wish he wasn't at Chelsea. I wish he was somewhere where he would have the game time and we'd see him a bit more. I think this is a slightly pointless move by him, but to give him his dues, he has played a few minutes, so that's a hit for me.
Okay, I'll take that. Dario, a couple of the other guys I might miss out because they've just been sent on loan.
I think miss out some of the cheaper ones.
Yeah, going to miss out Payet, going to miss out Sarr. Dario Sugo, came in, played a little bit of the Club World Cup, played I think one game in the Premier League, then got injured. So again, probably a little bit too early to really give him any look in. Liam Djellab. Is it probably too early, guys?
Yeah, obviously. He's played one game and then pulled it
Exactly.
Well, I thought we had to say something.
We can say if they've not played enough. We can say if they've not played enough, it's too harsh. Do you want to call it a miss?
Huge flop.
Okay. Henry's words, not mine at all. Yoran Hato, we've seen him feature a little bit more. Is he a left back? Is he a left centre back?
He's going to play centre back now, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, by the defensive injuries issues that we have at the moment, yeah, quite definitely.
Too early though. Again, it
is. I think when he has featured at the start, I think you could see kind of like, you forget this guy is a teenager. Like when he was captain of Ajax, obviously last season, and there were a few question marks. We'll seeing him kind of get used to the system. When he played in that Cucurella role, like he did struggle. I thought he was much better when at kind of a centre back. I thought when he came on against Liverpool, again not for an incredible amount of minutes, but was pretty good. But again, I agree, too soon. Estival.
Big hit, mate.
Big hit.
Definite hit.
What a player we've got on our hands here. I think that's
a great moment.
Exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. 18 years old. I think he was about £37 million or something like that. 40 mil for him. Bought probably about a season ago, but finally comes into the squad because he's old enough. Looks a hell of a talent. And we never get these players in the Premier League, do we? This kind of player, I always think, they're normally going to La Liga. Do you not think the Brazilian kind of winger, they're never really coming to the Premier League?
Yeah. I don't know. I think they do a bit, but I think he's nailed on it.
His goal against Liverpool and Mbeumo's goal against Newcastle, two of my favourite moments of the season so far. Last minute, young lad stepping up.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, there we have it. It's about hit. Alejandro Garnacho, too soon?
You're
I think he's actually been a bit of a hit, Garnacho. So just
agree.
me, I think when he's playing, he's really effective. I think off the ball, it adds a lot to Chelsea's shape to have an actual legitimate left winger that knows that role inside out.
Direct.
Very direct, and I think he's been fine.
Good assist against Benfica for the only goal. Obviously puts it in off Rios, who scored the own goal. I completely agree.
Can you assist own goals?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I'm not sure he can assist.
I don't think it goes
personally.
down as an assist.
It went down as assist on the actual official stats. Thank you very much. So that is one assist for. I think that should be an assist. That should 100% be an assist. I actually do think he, in very limited minutes, he hasn't played enough yet. But I do think
he's been better than I thought he was going to be.
He's going to be Chelsea's starting left winger. Like that is what it is.
Do you know what it has proven is like him and Neto are very different players, and I think it has become apparent that they can operate in different ways, and that is a useful aspect for Chelsea. So that's been good.
Someone who, again, hasn't played enough, but I do maybe have a little bit more of a concern around is Jamie Gittins.
I'm worried about where his minutes are going to come from his perspective, because I think he is such a talented footballer there, but where are his minutes going to come from? With Garnacho playing left wing, with Pedro Neto now apparently becoming a left winger.
Left wing, yeah.
Like, I feel a bit sorry for Jamie Gittins, man.
Well,
I don't.
Man, this is a young player who's joined a big club here.
He surely must have known the competition for space.
Yeah, but Garnacho joined after him, didn't he?
Well,
I think he wasn't to know that the Garnacho deal was going to get over the line necessarily. He probably thought he was going to come in competing for Pedro Neto with that left wing slot. I think he's been a bit unlucky here, Jamie Gittins.
Well, it's tough because when I have seen him so far, he started against Benfica. Oh, so he started against Benfica. Or did he come on against Benfica? He came on against Benfica. Started against Brentford. I think he is he's very late to make a decision on what he wants to do. He's actually really good at like carrying the ball forward and driving. But when he's at that moment about, should I take on the man? Should I take the shot? Should I pass? He takes too long. And again, this is something that can easily over time, once he gets more used to the system, once he becomes a little bit more comfortable, finds himself a little bit more, like can easily come through.
Is he going to get the chance to do that though?
That is the difficulty, because right now you're looking at the starting 11 for Chelsea. When Cole Palmer is fit, he could be possibly out on the right or in the middle, and then on the left, it probably is going to be Garnacho. And if they are playing Esteban, who I think over the time they will want to feature more and start him a lot more regularly, then Pedro Neto might be also an option for that left wing. There's an argument as well that even João Pedro, once say like Liam Djellab is fit, could be put out there too. So I do think it does become a lot more difficult for him. I maybe slightly too soon right now. If someone was to say not a hit so far, I think that's completely acceptable as well, which is what Henry wants to put forward. João Pedro.
He slowed down the last few weeks, but he started the season on absolute flames.
He did. And obviously the Club World Cup as well. Absolute hit, I agree. Over then to our next club that begins with a C, Crystal Palace. Had a window that took a little while to kind of get started.
Pino's been a major hit, by the way.
Well, let's start with the top then. Yeremy Pino, the Spanish winger, attacking midfielder, looks so exciting.
Yeah, me and Duke's very happy about this signing.
I mean, he was someone who, if I remember like a couple of years ago, was being spoken about as a fee that could be upwards of 60, 70 million pounds.
I think it's quite interesting though, where he's being used a bit more centrally. Comparatively to his previous role at Villarreal, which was very much like a touchline winger. Yeah. Like, I think he adds a lot of different elements to Crystal Palace's game. He's not Eze's level, because Eze was a very established Premier League player.
But he's 22 still.
But I think some of his off-the-ball work has really stood out early doors. I watched them in the Conference League last week. He was sensational out of possession. Obviously, unbelievable bit of skill for the Eddie Nketiah goal as well. I think him and Sarr look so natural in those two roles. And it's interesting because Sarr also, when I think of him at Watford, was very much a sort of touchline winger. But now he's inverted into that 10 role. He looks even more dangerous in those central areas. So I think if the same could happen for Pino and De Glasner, those two in combination playing off of JP Mateta, I think this is a huge hit. I think the fee is minute compared to what it could have been.
Yeah, well, I mean, they spent £30 million or less on him.
I don't even think it was 30 million.
Might have been,
it's £26 million.
£26 million. I mean, it's a really, really good fee. It's, to be honest, the only player we can really talk about for Palace so far.
I mean, Sosa, that was so silly in the Conference League, man.
So far, Sosa has missed his penalty in the Charity Shield final and got sent off. It's not been a great start for Borja Sosa, but for £3 million and a backup to Mitchell, who just gets better and better, it's all right. It's fine. Benitez, fine, lots of experience. A lot of talk about Uche and Getafe. A lot of La Liga people were like, this guy's seriously good. And coming from a system where he didn't really get any... Getafe are just such a weird, unique team that just scrap and scrap.
He's a unique player though, isn't he? Because he can play about 6 different roles.
Yeah. So I think give time for Uche, and I think we'll see a pretty...
Thing is, he's played 7 Premier League minutes so far. So
Glasner just basically keeps the same squad, does the same substitutes every single week.
He's going to have
that's
to change
the
that up,
biggest-
though. Like, obviously, they're
With
flying, they
the
can't get
Conference
beaten
League
at the
football
moment
as
other
well.
than at the weekend. But with Conference League football, he's going to pick up injuries. He's going to have tiredness in the legs. And I actually think that showed in the second half against Everton. Obviously, the first time they're playing after a Thursday on a Sunday, I think at about 60 minutes, the players did start to look a little bit leggy, particularly in that sort of front three. And it did come back to bite them a little bit. Obviously, the turnaround happened.
I said that last week. I said Palace's biggest problem is they play the same team every week. And someone's like, oh, no, he just puts out the same team because he wants to win every single week. I was like,
Yeah, which is fair enough. But,
yeah, but
that will bite you. in
well,
the
yeah,
season,
that will be a problem eventually if you play the same
good.
players every single game. But
Yes, I mean, only time will tell, but I do kind of agree with you. I think that it's actually funny if you look at even if it's just the highlights, the difference, or even the statistical, the stats post game, the difference of first half to second half. It's like two different teams came out, to be fair, especially after the 60th minute.
Everton were good as well.
Everton were good. And let's move on to Everton then, because they did make some moves in the window. A few interesting ones as well. Let's talk about Jack Grealish then, on loan. They're paying, I think it's
hit.
big miss, mate.
Huge
Yes. Yet to see what all the fuss is about.
yeah,
Huge hit.
completely agree. He looks revitalised, doesn't he? Absolutely loving it. He's somebody I think that also needs to love his football when you can see him doing that. I think they're paying his full wages, aren't they, or something along those lines, 250k a week,
Sure.
I think. But he's doing very, very well. I know he's only just scored his first goal, but
Scored.
exactly.
Ball hit his
Blocked,
foot.
blocked. But
But his influence on the
fantastic.
team and his creativity for
exactly.
others has been massive.
Exactly. Let's talk. Adam Azanu hasn't really featured too much just
really
yet. Carlos Alcaraz, I think when he
Very
has
good player.
come, really good player.
I think Charlie Alcaraz is a really good player, and especially the system they're playing now with Kieran Dewsbury-Hall playing that central role, having Charlie Alcaraz to come off the bench, I think he's a massive asset, and I think he has big impacts on teams because of his energy, especially out of possession. His work rate is massive.
He was good.
He's quite a different kind of player to a player like Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, who's obviously now banned unfairly. I think you probably see Charlie Alcaraz starting the 10.
Is he not back? He'll be back now.
He only missed one game. He only got
one game for
banned for one game. It was because he got another yellow card, didn't he?
yeah,
it was only one game.
it was only one.
So
Yeah,
but we'll
you're
see.
right.
But again, I think the options it allows them to have, like that, we'll get on to the striker in a second, but like that kind of the attacking players just behind the striker for Everton, there's so many good players there for them. Merlin Roa, we'll give a quick shout out just because I think he does look really interesting. Hasn't really featured yet for Everton, but I know Everton fans are very, very excited for him. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, hit.
Such a good player.
Such a good player.
So unfairly refereed at the start of the season, honestly.
100. Yeah,
Some
very,
of the
very right.
decisions are absolutely comical. The yellow against Liverpool is a disgrace. Who was the second? The yellow against West Ham.
Yeah.
Disgrace.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah,
But works so hard
The
as
whole
well.
game's
so
gone phrase is well
talented.
annoying. But when you see some of the tackles that him and Wharton have been booked
Done for.
it's just like, oh, come on.
Agreed. But yeah, massive hit. Super talented. Apparently he can play for Ireland, which is interesting, but hasn't done that just yet. So just seen that there for the nationalities that you can represent. But yeah, massive hit. And for the fee they paid as well, like they're getting so much out of him. And I think he just, again, another player that just looks like he's enjoying his football after, I think he enjoyed his time at Chelsea, but yeah, they've got that left-hand side of the pitch like on lock. Tierno Barry. I was really excited about Tierno Barry. Like I thought he looked really, really exciting last season. I thought his runs in behind could be really crucial to Everton. I just don't think he's impressed Moyes that much so far. Really, has he?
He's been in my work draft team since week one, and I'm adamant. I thought this was going to be an unbelievable pickup. I'm so frustrated.
So good for Villarreal last year.
And this weekend, almost, because Beto came on, and we know saying how Beto's just the most unpredictable player and one of the most unpredictable players in the league. Beto came on and made a real impact like that. He almost deserved a goal at the end. But I think Barry's in serious.
It might be a time thing. It might be a time thing where you just got to get used to it, understand
Again,
the
yeah,
system and stuff.
we
but
can't
like,
write a player off who's, just with other players we've been speaking about earlier in the show. How old's Barry? I think he's 22, 23. He's come
22,
he's come to
22,
a new league playing an extremely different system to Villarreal. And he's being asked to play in a very different way. He's being asked to play a little bit like Beto, much more of a target man figure, asked to hold the
Not
ball
running
up,
in behind.
asked to cause problems to the two central defenders he's up against. Wasn't his game at Villarreal. Wanted to link play up far more, didn't he? And I think that is always going to be a difficult connection with Moyes, who wants much more of a target man number 9. So, yes, he has struggled at the start of the season, but I still think the talent level is there that at the end of the season, he'll be the starting 9.
I think you're correct, absolutely correct. Like, in terms of the video and what I said earlier about, like, we're just going to do it about what we've seen so far, it's not.
Well,
I do think it's someone
you
who
asked me to say hit or miss.
No, I agree.
And I'm saying Barry, who has had opportunities, has been a miss so far.
I agree.
Because we were expecting a little bit more.
Completely.
And it doesn't matter because the rest of the squad's been so good. But like Everton could even be in a better situation if a few of the results had gone their way. Like they're playing that well at the moment.
By the way, that was a big win against Palace, because there's been a little bit of negative sentiment in the build up to that. I think the result in the League Cup against Wolves was diabolical, frankly. To go out in that position was shambolic. I think the draw against West Ham at home was, fairly mediocre as well, given the state of West Ham.
New manager bounce maybe, but yeah.
He only had 2 days.
No, you're right.
So they had to get something out of that game. That was a big result for them.
And I mean, look, for Palace as well, like they're cursed at playing away against Everton, and it continued for them. The final player hasn't featured enough, but obviously got to probably mention him just because he was the most expensive in the window. Tyler Dibbling.
He's not.
But he hasn't featured
He's
really.
not featured enough.
Not featured enough. There we go. Nicely done, Henry. Nicely done. Over then to Fulham.
Oh, yeah. I'll wrap this up in about 10 seconds for you.
Go.
Lecomte, actually, I think it's a really good signing, but he hasn't played because Leno plays every second. Kusiasari, we beat a load of big names. This is the problem when you sign 3 players in the last 10 minutes of the window, is that it takes them quite a while to get up to speed. Kusiasari will be very exciting, but I just don't know where he's going to get minutes over Muniz, who's just signed a new deal, and Jimenez, who just weirdly pops up goals every now and then. We've got to justify why we took him on loan from Bayern Munich, because like Sporting and Anderlecht, there are lots of guys, teams that he could have gone to and got more minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him go back to Bayern in January. He's really exciting. I want to see more from him.
Prop going?
I'm building up to Kevin because it's the only interesting. it's the only interesting thing. Chukwueze, give him time. We haven't really seen him.
I mean, what's just happened to him career-wise in the last few years? Jesus.
The thing is, like, Iwobi's been really good again this season.
Iwobi's
always amazing.
Iwobi's so good. I love Iwobi. And then like Josh King holding that central attacking role.
Yeah, fantastic.
Finally, we get to the man who is going to break the Premier League at some point, Kevin. This guy, he certainly in the first 2 games has looked frightening off the bench. Record signing. Get him in the starting 11. Just give him.
What happens to Iwobi?
Ah,
because they're both occupying that similar position on that left-hand side. If Kings can occupy the 10, does that mean you put Iwobi on the right?
I think
that's a problem.
You could kind of put them in both towards the left, as in one like behind the striker.
So
one
where's
on the
Kingy playing?
Where's
Josh King playing?
Josh King's not a guaranteed starter every single minute. You don't make a record signing and not eventually put him in the team. He will go in.
That's fine, but then where's Emil Smith-Rowe playing? I think
Smith-Rowe is very clearly on the bench at the moment.
I think if Josh King comes out the side, I would be surprised. I think he's been so good at the start of the season as to be almost undroppable.
But he is super young, where like you can protect him a little bit by not playing all the time.
Can we not just play Kevin on the right?
Oh, all right, then play Kevin on the right then. That's fine. I'm happy to put him everywhere.
I know that Wilson's playing well, but
yeah, but Wilson. This happens every season.
Wilson does have
every season to Wilson. He'll play for a bit. He'll start for a bit and then be out of the team. Kevin will come in. Basically, out of these fairly dull transfers, Kevin is the one so far that has been a moderate hit. But yeah, again, we haven't really seen him because of our slightly bizarre team selections.
Fair enough. Long 10 seconds. Long 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah. we bought it the other week. We bought in Adama Traore as centre forward when Jimenez got injured. I was just like, what are we doing?
Okay. Over to Leeds United, who I think have actually had some really good transfers work out for them. Let's talk about.
We go for them all.
Well, Lucas Nemcha, I think, been really good for them so far. He's featured quite a lot for them too, playing 7 Premier League games.
How many minutes has he had in those games though?
No, big hits. Anton Stack. He's been brilliant. He's a very, very good signing.
Hell of a free kick.
He's been good.
I will say that for about the whole season.
Bornau, we haven't seen so much of him, I don't think.
No, Bornau we haven't. Okafor, we have seen a little bit of.
Honestly, he's got 2 goals.
From AC Milan.
He's got 2 goals. That's a hit.
Yeah, 100%. He's somebody who, obviously, for the last few years has been like rated highly or like has potential.
Perry's good. Perry's good in goal.
Well, Perry almost seems to have been replaced.
Has he?
Yeah.
Darlow's
is back in goal for them.
I think the fact is that
Perry's not been good.
Clearly, Daniel Farke at the moment at the start of the season is relying predominantly on the same team that got him promoted from the Championship.
Yeah,
look at the numbers. He's put Anton Stack in, fine, and Longstaff and Calvert-Lewin.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the other players are going to be bedded into the team very slowly. I think like Noah Okafor, you're starting to see get bedded into the side more. But even like Carl Darlow, a reliable, safe pair
He's
of
been
hands.
good.
He's been really good.
Yeah, don't
He's kind of
disagree.
justifying that role, isn't he, at the moment? So I think it's hard to classify a lot of these players that simply haven't played loads of minutes. Like
James
we spoke about
Justin's
Metcher a minute
featured
ago.
a little
He's only
bit.
played 150 minutes of football. Can't judge a player.
What do you think of Calvert Lewin? I know it's a free transfer. It's a free transfer, so he can't like go. It's kind of it is a hit,
been
but
okay.
I think
he
he's
has been okay, hasn't he?
Everyone, he's made some big misses. I think that's undeniable. But you are beginning to see what
He's a
glimpses.
presence. He's a presence in the forward line.
Yeah, you're beginning to see like glimpses of what Calvert-Lewin was all about in his peak.
Yeah.
And if they can keep him fit and get his confidence up, then this could be a stunning free transfer. I still believe that. Like if they can just get some confidence back into him, where he's just slotting away those easy chances and making, because that's the thing. Like some of his misses have cost the team at this point.
They have.
But again, I'm not looking at Joel Perreault going, this guy's going to come in and make a change. But Longstaff,
Joel Perreault.
Longstaff's been an unbelievably good signing for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I also think
fantastic
like
hit.
even the Dominic Calvert-Lewin, we talk about him there. I think the goal against Spurs, like the little set off. I know that he misses a couple of chances in the game. But the little set off for the goal they scored, like doesn't get the assist for that. He doesn't get the goal for that. But it's like a vital moment in the game. And he's a presence in the forward areas. Like you said, I think between him and Joel Perreault, I still start DCL right now.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we covered Leeds there. I think some really interesting players. No, I think so.
Leeds fans
I think so. I mean, so you are right. Like, not enough of them have played. Like, we can
Let's go on to Liverpool,
Lucas
mate.
Perez, as I said, hasn't actually got in goals, so there could be
Business Joe
could be something
today.
there to talk about.
we do
Liverpool. Let's talk about Liverpool then. Do we want to count Rio joining the first team? No, but he is really good.
Maybe.
Giovanni Leone.
Injured.
Snaps his ACL too.
Not seeing him much.
Big miss.
Yeah,
Snapped his ACL,
big
wasn't it?
miss,
Poor
yeah.
lad.
Jeremy Frimpong.
Ooh.
Say it, Henry. Come on, get out there.
No, I'm not going to say
He's
that
been-
he's been
he's
a
not
miss.
been a hit so far.
I'm not going to say he's been a miss.
You think he's been a miss then?
He's not been a hit. So yeah, he's been a miss so far. He isn't even starting. They're
Well,
putting
he
him
started
in.
quite a few games.
No, not really. Now they had to take off Frimpong to put Szoboszlai back into right back of how bad he
Yeah,
was
but
playing.
that's also because he was out for 5 weeks with a
He
hamstring injury.
was. I think he's such a different player, isn't it? Like to how they traditionally have played with a right back. Like he's almost, to be honest, very opposite. This is why there have been arguments before of why he has to play back three, why he's almost like a winger.
I really feel like this Frimpong chat has only kicked in the last few weeks. As in, even up to the League Cup game where Katike got sent off, he was still starting then. I don't think he was
He had a major injury. Man.
He did have an
out for,
injury. Yeah, he was out. He was out for-
I think
he was out for the international
been
break.
quite badly exposed at the start of this season.
That's what I'm saying.
When Mo Salah isn't scoring goals and having major
the
impacts on
defensive
games, which
work
he
just
hasn't at the
isn't
start of the
helping
season,
him.
he doesn't work back.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you leave Frimpong in that exposed situation, in a new system, in a new country, in a new team, I think he is going to look largely exposed. People were talking about Trent looking exposed defensively constantly. Well, yeah, because Mo Salah doesn't work back to support that role because his goal output is so ridiculous, you can justify it.
Oh yeah, but that's why they need the midfield. Like that's why before Szoboszlai, when he's in midfield, does help
Yeah, but
out
is that
all the time over
all
there.
is that all on Frimpong?
But I mean, we can
or is
only.
that all on a systematic
But that's
issue?
a different video entirely. Like we've got to look at the transfer and how he's been handled. If Liverpool have bought a player who doesn't fit the system or doesn't help out, we still have to kind of talk about the player and it not working out.
I think he struggled at the start of the season, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily all his fault.
Look, but it's not been a hit. I'm happy to take the brunt on this one, guys. So far, it's not been a hit. Milos Kerkez.
I think he has struggled more than I was expecting
Yes, I would
because,
agree.
again, it's a very different role to what he's playing at Bournemouth. This system at Bournemouth with the overlapping runs, looking to get crosses in from the byline, looking to get to the byline, look to show his energy constantly on the front foot, is very different to how he's been asked to play. At times, tucking in alongside the centre-backs to allow Frimpong to go high up the pitch, inverting at times. And it almost feels a little bit to me like he's trying a bit too hard, I think.
Yeah.
Which, can be explained as a young player looking to make an impact at Liverpool this early in the season. But I wouldn't be surprised at some stage to see him taken out of the limelight a little bit, Robbo put back in. I think that wouldn't be the worst option.
Also in Kerkez, I think he's been, if teams can isolate him in the box for crosses, I don't think he's there's been a few games where he's been bullied by
There's a little bit of also, I think he's just got to understand his teammates' movement. Like against Chelsea, he was, when he'd get by the byline or like just on the edge of the box or even inside the box, he'd play the ball into a completely different area to where the forwards would move into. Like he kept putting it like behind the forwards as they were making like runs towards the goal. So maybe it's a time thing, but again, like I think so far, not a hit in the games we've seen so far, guys. Hugo Ekitike, hit.
Maybe the biggest hit of any transfer this summer?
Yeah, quite possibly. I think he's
what at Liverpool? Not in general. At Liverpool.
I think in general,
potentially in general.
he's. I could say in general,
I think potentially in general.
he is so good.
I can't believe
man.
how good he is. Who do you think's been a bigger hit in the
Oh, it
Premier League
depends.
for new signings?
I think Trofe's been as big a signing as in like people are saying
No, but
Trofe's
like,
the current team this season.
when you watch Trufair, then I don't necessarily mean the impact he's had in his first 6 games, but I mean how you can see like the level he could be at. Like I think
Voltemade. I think Voltemade's been brilliant since he's come into
I think
Newcastle.
Voltemade has been amazing as well. Love Big Nick, but there is something in Akatike's game where you look at him and you go,
completely agree.
"Oh my god, this could be one of the world's best players."
Mate, he is so good at everything. He's good at everything.
I'm not going to die on this hill. Like, fair enough. I like Ekatike, and I think he's been brilliant. And he's got a very strong case at the moment that if they do decide to play one up front, it should be him and not Isak
Which
at the
is
moment, which is
crazy.
a huge testament to him. And I've got to say, I remember when he went to PSG, I thought, that was too soon. And I really thought he should have stayed at. I really thought he should have stayed at Eintracht for a bit longer because he had a good thing going there. The fact that he's come and showed just how good he is, I do completely agree. I don't know if it's necessarily the best transfer, hands down, but if
I think it's a contender. I think it isn't so far because Liverpool have looked a bit mishmash in the system, but I think in 2 to 3 years, it's the transfer we will look back on this window and be like, oh my days.
You could call me like, I don't know whatever it is, but like Granit Xhaka
Yeah,
to
fine.
Sunderland.
Yeah, I understand that he's had a bigger, maybe a bigger impact on Sunderland as a team, but as an individual talent level, I think he's the highest I've seen signed this summer.
All right, fair enough.
Free. Absolute hit. I mean, it's funny because they're both essentially arguing that he's really good.
He's ridiculous.
But he is. He's a freak.
Could you imagine if he'd have gone Arsenal? Like, no offense to Gyökeres, like that is the player that I think. If he'd have been at Arsenal, everybody been like, "Oh my Lord.
Newcastle were after him, weren't they, as well? Like, it's mad to see like he's already at the level of a Liverpool team. Like, it's
still going to be an interesting fit. Like, how does he work with Isak?
Well, I wonder if there's an argument. I wonder if it's a very different point in this, but I wonder if maybe next summer there's like depending on how the seasons go, they might have to go, we need to commit to one.
Yeah.
Like, we need to commit to one.
I think they've obviously tried to future-proof, obviously, for the exit of Salah, who is not going to stay at this level and be at the club forever. So they've tried to future-proof with goals and quality in the forward line, but there is going to be debate. There is just flat out going to be debate for the entire season who should be the starting number 9.
Yeah,
I think Mamardashvili, I actually think is a hit. Like in terms of the money they paid for him,
he was all right against Chelsea. I thought. I thought he was good at Chelsea.
Distribution was class.
Well, I was actually going to say the distribution is where probably the issue lies for me. Maybe with more the ball at his feet. Because you could see Chelsea had that as an issue for him. Like Chelsea were pressing it to make sure he'd pay these passes.
He makes quite glamorous saves. He sort of does a lot more.
He was signed last time anyway, wasn't he?
He was. But obviously he has not played. He didn't play. But he played his first game with Chelsea and looked good.
What do you want to talk
Let's
about?
do it then.
Wirtz.
Wirtz. For now, let's just get it out of the room and just say it. For now, it's not been a hit. It hasn't been a hit at all. But what I will say is sometimes I'll see what people are like. Maybe Chelsea have been on it's a 3 p.m. game, whatever, and I'll see people like ripping into Wirtz, and then I'll watch like the long highlights or even the game and think, I don't think he's been that bad. Like the Galatasaray game, for instance, he should have got an assist. He probably should have got a goal.
I thought he struggled a little bit against Chelsea, and that was maybe the first time I've thought to myself, where is his best role within this system, and how does he complement the other 3 midfielders? Because I think Liverpool's most effective midfield 3 is still McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai.
Yeah.
So where does Wirtz fit into that 3? Because for me, actually, at the start of this season, McAllister has struggled almost the most of any of the midfielders. I don't know whether it's his form or his fitness or just hasn't quite got up to speed so far this campaign. Liverpool fans, let me know why you think that is.
He's played a lot of minutes. He has played a lot of minutes.
But I think that has affected Wirtz in a way that I wasn't expecting. I think that the lack of plan for how he was going to fit in this system, for me, is a bit bizarre.
I'm pretty sure he was on paternity leave. I'm pretty sure McAllister. Okay. I'm pretty sure
could be affected.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's got a newborn child and he's been given extra time off to help that out. And again, it's one of those things that you can't imagine how difficult that must be, professional athlete, like having to raise a newborn baby. But anyway, there we go. Yeah, I do agree with you.
Where do you think he should play? Where do you think he should play, Henry? Should it be on the right? Should it be on the left?
He has to be a 10. He has to be a 10.
How do they fix that around then?
He just needs a goal and assist to get going. That's honestly, he just needs that moment. I don't care if it hits his shin and goes in. I don't care what happens. He just needs to get a goal or an assist. And because I was there at the Community Shield against Palace. He was so good on the left-hand side. I've seen glimpses of him where he's so good. He just needs that moment to fall for him, which is what I was going back to Gyökeres. At least Gyökeres is getting goals so far. He just needs that, and then I think the narrative will change very, very quickly. People are just piling in on it because it's a big transfer, and the whole narrative. Liverpool, I know they've lost 3 games in a row. It's still not a terrible predicament that they're in.
It's not. I mean, the thing is, like, Wirtz,
No, but it's not
the
flowing,
game. The game that I saw, but there's so many new elements. Like, it's never going to be as flowing as it was last year. Like, one of the only the game I've seen Wirtz live in the flesh for, he was such an interesting player because it was almost like he was the player that Xabi Alonso kind of allowed to do what he wanted. He didn't have to always track back. He could walk. But when he was on the ball, he was just electric, absolutely electric. And I actually remember, like, he was quiet for the first, 40 minutes, then picked up the ball from, 40 yards out and shot from 35 and it went in. That's the talent that he has in there. And I do just wonder, when he's in this Liverpool team where he's now not the main guy, and if anything, he's kind of like third in the pecking order, really, behind Mo Salah and then Isak. And there's argument for even Ekitike, really. That he has to be a little bit more of a possible system player for Liverpool for it to work out. And it is going to take time. I think it is going to take time. But I do agree with you, Henry. Even he himself, I think, has admitted, or even to friends, and maybe they've said it online, I can't remember what it was exactly, that he has kind of maybe got a little bit of a mental thing going on now. It has been 7, 8, 9 games
I think
where
it's up
he's
to
thinking about this.
I do think it's up to some of the other Liverpool players to help him out.
Yeah,
How many
yeah,
times
yeah.
against Chelsea we see Salah just get the ball and
Salah this season.
blast it over the bar?
Salah this season hasn't been fantastic.
You
Hasn't
saw-
been
you
the
saw
Salah
all
that
the
we know.
players like throwing their hands up every time he got the ball there. Instead of playing an intelligent pass, he kept trying so hard just to blast it in.
We mentioned, obviously, that he might have had a poor game at 45 minutes against Chelsea. The first thing he did against Chelsea was outrageous. The 360 pirouette, touch turn to Salah to set him up is
class.
absolutely ridiculous. Like, Salah puts it in, and everyone's suddenly like, oh, Florian Wirtz has turned up now, guys. But yeah, okay. I think we're in agreement that at the moment, not a hit, but there is a player in there. But the big task for Liverpool is figuring that out. Final one then, Alexander Isak, not seen enough games. Maybe from what we've seen. But I actually don't know how to call it, really, but I do think it'll work out.
Didn't really
Yeah,
have a
we haven't seen enough.
pre-season, joined really late on.
He's not fit, is he?
What's the point in...
He's not fit.
No. Okay, then let's move over to Manchester City. The players that really featured, like Bettinelli doesn't count, Naipan doesn't count.
Reinders.
Wow. Donnarumma.
Hit. Yeah,
hit so
massive
far.
hit.
James
I
Trafford.
feel so sorry for him.
Me too. World Cup year, I think he's going to try and get a move in January, or at least a loan move in
Do you know
January.
what's so funny? He wasn't even that bad.
No, he
If you
wasn't.
Look, if you look at the numbers,
He really
behind-
wasn't.
He's
He's
got
got
a
a positive post-show
when
expected goals.
Donnarumma is on the market opportunity is so big, you have to waive your loyalty.
It's a big dog move.
You have to waive your loyalty.
Yeah. James Trafford then, I think for now, just because of the scenario that he's ended up in, it's probably not a hit, but would have been a hit if he was playing. Ryan Cherky not playing enough, injured. Ryan Nouri,
Injured.
Tiani Reinders,
Definite hit. Definite hit.
Really,
By the way,
really good player.
Man City, I know that they haven't been playing the prettiest football, but unbeaten in 7 games, 5 wins.
Yeah.
Like,
Haaland
Haaland in the
is
scariest
a
form of his
joke.
career. I think even though they're not up to scratch right now, I think City could grow into a position where they are causing teams a lot of trouble at the top end and in the Champions League.
Well, I had them as my team to win the Premier League, so we'll see. But City, yeah, some good business there, and the others just haven't played enough because of injuries. Let's talk about then for Manchester United, Diego Leon.
Do you know what's funny about Manchester United
Not played.
is I actually think it's very positive
Yeah.
when you look at these
I
transfers.
mean, the transfers.
It's
Danny Lemons.
It's Lamens,
catch a ball, guys.
the new
Catch a ball.
Schmeichel.
Mateus Cunha. Is that the only one maybe where you'd say not a hit so
but he's
far?
still-
He's injured. He's been out 5 weeks with a hamstring.
I even
injury.
think like Cunha's really tried to make an impact when he's been on the
Yeah,
pitch.
good
Like,
against
you
Arsenal.
can't. What him and Mbeumo have been
Good against
busy.
Fulham.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Has Brian Mbeumo been a hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has
Definitely.
Been, he has been a
He's
hit.
definitely been a hit for Man United. I don't think the new signings are anywhere near the issue at
Yeah,
the
fair,
club.
yeah, that's true.
I think even Benjamin
Different
Sesko
question,
is
though.
growing into the season quite nicely. At the weekend, he was really, really impressive. Back to goal work, flick-ons, bringing other players into the game. I think he showed a massive improvement on what we've seen over the last few years from number 9s at Manchester United. And now he's got 2 and 2. Nice bit of form. I think he's
Do
fine.
we call Sesko a hit though if it wasn't for the weekend's game? I know that's a very different question
2 and 2.
and doesn't matter.
2 and 2.
But
Mate, you've got to remember that the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, he wasn't even starting.
Yeah,
he was
true.
being bled into the team. Mason Mount was playing as the number 9.
hit.
He had a little bit of time on the sidelines whilst he acclimatised to the league. He arrived late in the window as well. It's only over the last sort of 3 or 4 games he's actually really been United's starting number 9.
Yeah.
And one of those games was away at the Etihad, very difficult scenario. I think against Brentford, he scored, but probably struggled all round. At the weekend, was definitely the best Sesko I've seen so far in a Man United.
So he's on a very
impressive.
upward trajectory.
Upward trajectory. I'm preaching positivity. I'm saying hit.
Yeah. You know what? I'm joining the Joe train today. So I'm
comments lashing.
Okay
into
then, from United to another United, Newcastle United, we can kind of, I think, to be honest, go through quite quickly. Ramsdale, not played enough.
No. What do we think about that move, just quickly? Because obviously it's a World Cup year, and Nick Pope is playing really well in goal.
But do you not think that's
Where do
also
those minutes come
kind
from?
of, because Ben's mentioned this a few times, I think he's kind of right with it. Maybe the Ramsdale move has helped with Nick Pope as well, to almost like put competition in
but
there.
from Nick Pope's perspective, from Ramsdale's perspective, in a World Cup year, there is competition for third place. There's clearly a lockout between Pickford's going to start, Dean Henderson's the backup. The third choice England goalkeeper spot going to the World Cup right now is Nick Pope.
Yeah,
Do you really think being the third choice keeper for England is like...
What, you don't think Ramsdale cares about going and winning
he
potentially a
would.
World Cup?
You are right. He would care for sure.
Waffle, of course he does.
But no, you're right. I guess actually, maybe in that sense for himself, not a hit.
I think he thought he was going to get in over Nick Pope. And the problem is Nick Pope's just been really good.
Fair. So not hit so far. Malik Tau, hit.
He's coming in big time now.
Yeah, he is. Eddie Howe loves him as well.
Shaw looks like he's on the way out.
And fair play, mate. Shaw's like, and Shaw's also like been a hell of a player for Newcastle and be a great player for the squad
as well.
Jacob Ramsey,
injured.
Yeah, not seen him really. Visser,
injured.
Not seen him.
This
Elanga,
is a shame, isn't it? Because by the time he comes back, it'll be approaching AFCON.
Yeah. Elanga, hit.
What do you mean?
Henry's maybe a little bit more 50-50, but
he's been good, mate. Especially do you know where he's been really good is in Europe. Thought he was excellent against Barcelona.
Yeah, he was causing Barcelona a lot of
I thought he
issues.
was brilliant against Union Saint-Gilloise, where they scored 4 goals. He took home man of the match. I think those are the games where he can show his athleticism.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Especially against teams that are slightly smaller in Europe.
All right,
I think he can bully teams in those games.
Voltemada,
obviously
hit.
massive.
Yeah, massive hit.
Absolute hit.
Massive hit.
He is some
Brilliant.
player, isn't he?
Best signing of the summer.
Brilliant.
What a player Voltemada is. Could be one of the signings of the window, that's for sure. Nottingham Forest then. And let's go through a few of these really quickly.
The words of Neville.
What we'll do for Forest, so there is quite a lot here. I'm just going to say the name and you guys both just say hit or not.
Okay.
Zinchenko.
Hit. He's been good. He's been getting minutes, and I think a lot of the Forest fans have actually been fairly positive about him.
Okay. Douglas Luiz.
Not played enough minutes.
Not played enough minutes at all.
John Wick's not played. Cunha's not really played. Savona, not really played too much. Igor Jesus.
Hit. Should be playing more. Potentially should be starting for Nottingham Forest. In the way Ange wants to play, I think there's serious arguments that Jesus should be starting. I think he scored, 4 goals in 125 minutes of football so far this season. In the Champions League, or not in the Champions League, sorry, in the Europa League. Very, very effective. I thought he was excellent in his game where he scored 2 goals coming off the bench. I think that there's arguments for Igor Jesus to be starting as the number 9 this season.
Okay.
There we go.
James McAtee.
Not enough minutes,
he's
man.
kind of come off the bench, isn't he? He has played a little bit. He's
I think
played
he's played a bit.
He's played 140 minutes or so.
140 minutes of football is not enough
It's
minutes
not a
to
lot.
judge
It's not a lot.
player,
In the
mate.
yeah, it's not.
It's
But
not
more than
enough
that.
minutes.
I thought it was more than that.
But it was a player who needed the move to finally become a starting player, and it isn't.
I know, and I understand that. But you're in a situation which is so tumultuous right now
it is.
that players can't be given minutes and bled in,
might
and
have
Gibbs can't be taken out of sport because they need to get results. So
Yeah.
at the moment, he's just not seeing enough minutes.
I mean, he could end up having a 4th manager in the next month. Callum Window. See him off the bench a bit.
Yeah, Forest fans have been pretty positive about what they've seen so far, but not enough minutes.
Bakwa.
I think he looks dangerous, by the way,
He
but
looks
kind of not enough minutes.
exciting.
But it does look exciting off the
Very
bench.
exciting. Ndoye.
Yeah, I think he's been a hit.
I think probably a hit, yeah.
Early doors, certainly the start
Keeping
of the
Hudson
season.
Ndoye out of the squad as well at times.
Yeah, I like his physicality, man. I think he immediately looks ready for the Premier League. So I would say tentative hit at the moment, but Nottingham Forest as a whole are struggling so much. I can see the comments now.
Yeah,
He's going to be
how
like,
can it
how
be a
can you
hit?
call
Yeah,
these
yeah,
players
yeah.
hits when Nottingham Forest have been this bad? I don't necessarily think it's the new signings that have been bad.
Yeah.
You know, they've not been bled into the team effectively because they've been losing so
Maybe
many games.
picking
they can't afford
and
to
maybe
take
picking a
risks.
manager that is the complete opposite of what the system was before might be a bit of a question mark. And then the most expensive of them all, Amari Hutchinson. Again, we've not seen him. Really, we've not seen him. But
I think
What a
you just got to
weird
question
move.
why they paid that.
Yeah.
I put it on Twitter when it happened.
You do to a level though, but I remember very similar conversations being had about Morgan Gibbs-White joining Nottingham Forest from Wolves when the fee was quite large and people were saying, what's this move about? I don't see the ceiling there. And I understand at the moment, Amari Hutchinson doesn't look like he's properly equipped for Nottingham Forest. And I can see people online saying, he should have had another season in the Championship. That's where he should have made his money. But they've taken a risk for us here early. I think if Forest were playing well as a unit, these conversations would be a little bit quieter about Amari Hutchinson because they are so bad as a squad right now and he's not getting minutes as the record signing. The spotlight gets shone on him, which I think is harsh because you don't have any time to bed in. But at the moment, it's not quite working.
So many new faces. It wasn't as if they were in a terrible position last year.
The spotlight needs to be shone upstairs onto Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Business, I think.
My God, yeah. Okay, then over to a team that I think we could be saying a lot of hits for. Again, I'm just going to rattle through them because there are so many players. Masuaku.
It's been all right.
Yeah,
been fine. Free transfer from British Success. I'd say it's a hit.
I think hit. Ronaldo.
Absolute mega hit.
Yep. Hit, completely agree.
Other than, I don't know, man. That is such a stupid red card.
And
he's
red card was
suspended for 3 games? Violent conduct?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
A moderate hit. Free transfer.
Bertrand Traore. Not seen.
I just don't. I don't know. I really don't understand.
Incredibly unlucky against Manchester United. I think the move would have ended up in a goal where he's clattered by Bruno and Senna Lamens outside the box and gets booked for diving. Obviously, horrendous decision. Not seen enough.
Robin Rose.
Massive hit. One of the signings of the season so far.
HIT.
Yep, very good.
Alderete,
another
massive hit.
What player?
Him and Mukiele just stick him straight in hits. The combination has been ridiculous.
Mukiele hit. Granit Xhaka.
Obviously, big hits.
Super hit.
I love the fact that he's gone there because he said he wanted to experience what it's like to play for a struggling team because that would make him a better manager going down the track. I think that's such an interesting thought process. I haven't really seen.
I wonder how many managers, I wonder how many players have thought that far ahead.
I think him and Noah Siddiqui, Siddiqui's been one of the finds. He's been one of the finds of the summer. Again, Noah Siddiqui. I think those two being signed for a combined like 30 million quid is an absolute joke.
It really is. Henry, give us a second. Jesus. Talabi. I think he looks really exciting. I don't think we see lots and lots just yet. But I'd kind of say he looks good enough to be a hit. Brian Broby. Not really played enough. Enzo Lefebvre doesn't really count because he was there last season. Ndingra.
This is the only one which has been because he did start at the beginning of the season. I was super excited by this transfer I think everyone was quite surprised.
Yeah, Brighton.
He's the only one who's maybe not lived up to.
You got hooked after 30 minutes against Man United.
Yeah, he's the only one that's probably not lived up to the hype. But the thing is, there's so many hits in the squad, it almost doesn't matter because they've got so many other players they can throw in.
Their bets, haven't they?
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like even Bertrand Traore is getting minutes over him at the moment. So Ndingra is the only one I would say. Come on, mate.
And then Diarra, as Henry mentioned, hit. Absolute hit.
30 million.
Well done, Sunderland. There's a lot of hits in that business.
Flying.
Tottenham Hotspur, then. We can talk about a few. Colin Mwani's coming in alone.
Has been injured.
Not seen him. Paulinho.
Hit.
Big hit.
Yeah, he's back.
Unsurprisingly,
he's back, baby.
The big crasher.
I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised, actually. I thought that maybe he would come into this side and struggle a little bit in the way Thomas Frank wants to play. But because of how Thomas Frank has set this side up, and I think there have been a couple of question marks about the dynamic of the midfield and who's playing in that number 10 role. It's been quite attritional at times, not having Xavi Simons in there, playing Sarr in there. But now they found a bit of balance. I think Paulinho has actually been sensational for them. So really
I just think with Paulinho, a bad day for him is still like a 7. As in, he might not go above that all the time, but you
know what you're getting from him, don't you?
You always get a full-blooded display from him. He will be like crunching
I've seen
people.
him been a little bit controversial for Spurs fans, where I think when they think of the midfield, they want maybe someone with a little bit more. I don't know.
They've all wanted a Paulinho for ages.
They do.
They've all wanted a Paulinho
they
for
also want him
ages.
to be able to pass. Essentially, that's the biggest thing. And I keep thinking, I see Spurs fans basically say like the future of the midfield isn't Paulinho, but
but he's 30 and he's coming on loan. Obviously, that's probably the case.
For now, hit. Let's mention Matthias Tell.
Got the score sheet against
Leeds. Well, I guess so, but I think so far maybe in this season not a hit. But Spurs fans, let me know what you think. James Kudus, hit.
Huge hit. He's a really good player.
Xavi Simons.
No, I'm gonna
say hit.
I'm gonna
I'm
say
not gonna say hit
I'm not
for
gonna
now.
say hit. No,
Yeah, neither. I'm
for
with
that so
Henry
far.
on this. I think so far, mainly because he's been shoved out on the left, and I think he's not a winger. He's
I
not
agree,
a Premier
but
League winger.
He's changed games when he's come on and had impact. So look at that Brighton result when they're 2-0 down. I think him coming onto the pitch effectively single-handedly takes a point from that game.
I think he's much better in the 10 position. I think the 10 position is where we can see more of a future for him. But and for some, again, I'm one of his biggest fans. I think he's such an incredible player.
There's a lot of
I
smoke.
just want to, so much smoke around him. So much smoke around him. Like, this was the guy that was meant to be instead of Eze. We upgraded instead of Eze.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah, but he's never going to have the instant impact of Eze, who's spent the last 6 years in the Premier League playing
for sure.
every single week. You've got to give him much more time than Eze.
100%. But he was 60
£60
million pounds, and again, like if I'm being critical against Gyökeres, like I've got to stick to my guns here. Like I would say that Simmons also
want to see
has a
more.
similar-
How old is he?
Want to see
23,
more.
24? Yeah.
22 years old.
22 years old.
Very,
The point
very
being-
experienced player at this level.
And the point being,
Yeah, he is, but not in the Premier League, which is a total upgrade on the physicality
from
of
what
any other
we
league
say-
in
I'm
Europe.
just saying,
but
if
from what we've
compared
seen
to
so
like
far,
Kudus,
I think not a hit. Not a hit.
Yeah.
I would happily sit here in January and say he's a hit for what the future will be, and I would tend to agree with that. Okay, over to West Ham then, our second final club.
Malik Diouf.
Malik Diouf,
yeah,
hit.
what a player!
Absolute hit. He looked really, really exciting.
One of the best deliveries at pace I've seen
Yeah.
in years. Like he looks like this is a road chat. It looks like a left-footed Beckham whipping the ball in at pace.
Oh, there we
No,
go.
he does, man.
The crossing ability. Yeah, I get what you mean by that. Yeah.
And I see a lot of like fullbacks now. Obviously, the trend at the moment is your fullback wants to invert, come back inside, keep the ball retained rather than putting the ball in the box. You've even seen bloody inverted, wrong-footed fullbacks now some sides. But like Diouf,
put him on that left wing.
get him running under Marnau, whipping the ball in at pace. The performance away at Leeds, I think it was, where he was whipping balls in. Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
He is very good.
He's been a hit.
Igor from Brighton on
Not seen
loan.
him.
We've not really seen. Mads Hermansen.
I feel sorry for him,
Yeah,
He's not in goal now, is
I
he?
do, for
Like-
sure.
He's obviously not a bad goalkeeper
I
because
think
he
he was
looked
bad
really good for Leicester last year. I think he's just been swallowed up in the
and the set
negative
pieces.
cauldron of West Ham.
The other issue as well, they've been so bad as a team about set pieces.
Yeah.
But
Ario.
he got a lot of the stick for it. And I don't know so as well. Like he
Thrown out of
was
the bar for
poor.
a bit.
Well, he was trying to claim balls and missing all the time. And now, it doesn't. We'll see whether he gets back in as number one, but he's not at the moment. Magassa, we've seen a little bit of, not loads, but in that kind of that DM position for them.
Not enough of.
But probably not enough. Cole Walker-Peters, free transfer. Maybe not been as good as I thought he'd be.
I don't know what you're expecting
But-
then.
Free transfer?
Yeah, free transfer. Aaron
West
Bissaka.
Ham
We'll
just
see what
finished
happens
out
with him
on
under Nuno. Callum Wilson. Was he found the back of the net? But again, free transfer.
Full crew starting every
Probably.
game, isn't he? So.
Yeah, absolutely. To Debo, we won't count that. Mateus Fernandes.
I actually think he's had a bit of an impact in the midfield.
yeah.
I think it was a midfield that was lacking all sorts of dynamism. Anybody who could get on the ball and progress it through the lines with a bit of pace. I think it's pretty telling that Nuno has come in and immediately dropped James Ward-Prowse from the squad.
Yeah.
Didn't even make the bench, did he? I think that having worked with Ward-Prowse at Forest, Nuno maybe harshly has potentially already made up his mind on that player.
Yeah, he did.
And
Yeah,
I think Mateus
he's
Fernandes
pimped
is
him.
going to play a significant amount of minutes in the midfield this season. So yes, the fee is big, and at the moment West Ham have been crap, but I do think he'll be a hit come the end of the campaign.
Yes. It's kind of hard with West Ham players, isn't it? Because we've got to kind of see them again under Nuno.
Yeah.
But I do tend to agree. He was amazing at Southampton last year. Over to Wolves.
Ladislav Krejci's been a hit. Let's get him in early doors.
Sure. Done.
Let's get some
Yeah,
positive
agreed.
positivity in the room.
Yeah. For Lopez.
Not really played enough.
No.
man.
I think technically Strad Larson joined this year, but not going to count that because that was
Injured all
last year.
season.
Wolf. I don't think he looks great. I'm not going to lie.
Tell you
I
what,
haven't seen him.
I just want to see more from
haven't seen him.
Orokadare. I want to see the big man.
Tolu.
Yeah.
But is he going to play now that Strand Larsen's back fit?
Probably
I don't know.
not, but
Impact from the
there's
bench
something about
again.
a 6'7",
Not seen enough of him.
6'7" big striker. It's exciting times.
Yeah,
isn't
we
it?
have
So-
seen a bit of
But this was going to happen when Wolves sell their two best players.
Jackson Chachu.
I've
We've
not
seen a
enough
bit.
of him.
He has played, but I don't feel like I've seen him enough to
I haven't
notice
watched
him
enough Wolves this
really.
season to have a huge
but it's not necessarily amazing. Obviously, they lost who was the right back, Portuguese Semedo last season. He's kind of come in, but look, Wolves' defence just looks a mess, and he's part of that defence.
They look better with a 4 though, from what I've seen. The couple of games that I've seen them switch
before the
between
international
5
break,
and 4,
they've looked
I thought
better.
They looked better with the 4 with Vladislav Krejci playing in the centre back role. I thought that gave them a bit of stability. When I watched them play in the 3, I've only watched them twice this season. I think they're all over the gap, but in the 4 they looked a little bit more solid.
John Arias as well, the right winger. Again, like we've seen a bit. He's played in 7 Premier League games so far
How
for
many minutes
them.
in those 7?
No, I think he's over 300 minutes. Like the issue again is just Wolves going forward at times. They look like they have no idea what they're doing, and he's a part of that attack. And I think again, probably so far, not.
But
a
Strand
hit.
Larsen hasn't been fit, and I think that is a huge issue for
sure.
them.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But again, from what we've seen, not a hit. So that is all the transfers, ladies and gentlemen. We've got through them. Well done. Well done, lads. Good shift, boys. I'll pat you on the shoulder as well, Henry, but I can't reach. Okay. Thank you, boys, so much for watching. Before Joey falls asleep, Thomlinson, where can the people at home check you out?
The normal places, yeah.
Indeed. In the description down below will be linked. Henry Henners Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Triple H.
We've got Doogie, Mikey, and me all on the Football Joe quiz.
Have you?
So,
Oh!
a European showdown.
I'll be tuning in for that.
And then we've got Steve Bracknell next week, so it's all exciting times.
Huge. Well, there we have it, guys. Hope you have enjoyed the video. We'll see you guys next week, next Friday. And we've got some more studio videos coming out very, very soon. So catch you later. Subscribe, like the video.